Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to KrabsLab. This is episode 3 of backtesting 1 hour per day until profitable. But right now, we're on June 21st, 2023. We're resuming the backtest from the previous videos, and we're gonna see how we could finish off this month if we get to it within this backtest, but we might. Not sure. We got a few days left, but right now what I'm doing is I'm marking up the previous day, and I'm marking up exactly the time that I'm going to be trading in the live markets so that all my backtesting data is at the same time, which is 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But right here, I'm gonna mark up previous day's high, previous day's low down here, and I'm also gonna mark up session highs and lows. Right here we got Asia high, and with these highs and lows, these are areas where liquidity is sitting and resting, and when price gets there in the future, we could see a reaction off those areas. So right here, 3 a.m., this is London low, and that should be all that's really needed. I mean, we got a London high up here we can mark up at 4 a.m. There's not really a significant Asia low that I'm worried about right now because it already got swept through and closed below. But yeah, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first skip exactly to the time that I'll be trading, which is 9:30 a.m. Boom, exactly 9:30 a.m. right there. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna determine my bias for the day. Based on the daily, it looks like we're having bearish closures and bearish continuation. Even though we have this previous daily candle closing bullish, I'm gonna guess right now that the 4 hour is closed bearish. Yeah, so 4 hours bullish too. 1 hour is bearish. This does make it a pretty tricky condition because 4 hour and daily are bullish, but we broke structure to the downside on the daily, and on the 4 hour it looks like. Now on the 4 hour it does make a little bit more sense that we could be bullish. Looks like we could be forming a higher high right here. But yeah, based on the 4 hour and the daily candles closing bullish, the previous day was also kind of bullish, so my bias right now is bullish. Daily bullish, 4 hour bullish, 1 hour bearish. But right now, I'm gonna mark up any higher time frame fair value gaps that I see. Right here, I see one right here. We could be drawing towards it. And down here, I don't see any major ones, so we're gonna hop down to the 4 hour time frame now. And on the 4 hour, there's nothing really significant at all. So now I'm gonna hop on the 1 hour. Right here, looks like we filled this 1 hour gap in pre-market. We do have a 1 hour gap down here. and down here as well. So ideally here, the setup that I'm looking for is something like this. Wait, this isn't previous day's high, this is previous day's low. I forgot to switch it. But yeah, ideally, my ideal setup here, sweep previous day's lows for liquidity, fill this 1 hour gap, and continue to the upside, targeting this daily fair value gap and targeting previous day's highs. And what I'm predicting here is that the 4 hour will want to make the second leg up right now. So yeah, I'm expecting price to come down here at market open, create this bottom wick on the 4 hour, fill this 1 hour gap, grab liquidity from previous day's lows, and then continue up to previous day's highs to target the liquidity above there. Also, we have 4 hour no top wick, daily no top wick as well, but it could be the software bugging out. Oh yeah, so daily has a top wick. 4 hour does not have a top wick. So yeah, if we come down here with 4 hour no top wick, sweep these lows, fill the 1 hour gap, this is definitely a trade I would like to take following my bullish bias. And yeah, let's see what market open does now. It's exactly 9:30 a.m. Boom, 9:30 a.m. right there. And we're just gonna watch price now. Oh, and actually, let me first check the 15-minute. Nothing on the 15-minute that I'm really looking at. We swept these London lows here. On the 5-minute, nothing major as well. Looks like we filled this 5-minute gap, had a reaction off of that. But yeah, let's just watch what price wants to do right here. Let's see how many points we need to come down here. 880 points. But yeah, hopefully we can just drop down here, sweep these lows, fill the 1 hour gap, and continue up. I'm going to skip this a little bit faster because we don't have a setup in here. Nice drop. See if we can sweep these lows. And now fill my 1 hour gap here. I want it filled all the way. And just off of this, honestly, I'm gonna just enter right here because this gap was pretty much filled about like 80%. So let's just see what stops will be here. .30 stops. Yeah, so targeting this 1 hour imbalance. Yeah, so I do want a little bit better of an entry to target this 1 hour imbalance as a target. So I will be patient. I might miss this move, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm gonna wait for my ideal entry. Also, 1 hour candle opening, no bottom wick. It looks like there was some type of news here also. But let's see if we could get filled here. I'm gonna set up buy limit. stop and let's see this. See if we can get triggered here. Boom, got triggered there. Looks like price is now coming down towards this 1 hour gap. But we are protected here. And stopped out. This could have been a news candle, honestly. But yeah, let's see if price continues bullish or not. Grab liquidity, swept previous day's lows. It would make sense now for price to continue up. But we are just melting. And that is the trade for today. L. Gonna mark up entry confirmations here. Number 1, time. This was at 10 a.m. Bias was bullish. Ooh, previous day's lows. Read. Swept liquidity. 1 hour fair value gap fill. But yeah, that's the trade. Took an L on that. Let's try and figure out why we took the L now. On the daily, we're bullish. I mean, we were in this, like, we were breaking structure to the downside on the daily. But on the 4 hour, it looked like we were creating a leg up to continue this uptrend. But yeah, this looks like a nasty news candle. Could have happened at 10 a.m. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, now account's gonna be at 1%. Long, follow daily bias, yes, bullish. 10 a.m. Fair value gap fill. We're gonna throw in our notes here into our journal. And we're on to the next day, the 22nd. Now it's a Thursday. But let's skip over there. 22nd. And let's see. So now we're definitely bearish here. Looks like we broke structure to the downside. 4 hours more bearish now. Closed. We didn't close below this low here, but we'll see on the daily. Yeah, so daily's bearish now. 4 hours bearish, 1 hour's bullish. But 1 hour break structure a downside. Previous day fully bearish. But yeah, let's mark up previous day's highs, previous day's lows. Just like we did before. Asia high would be right here. London low is this low right here. Here's London high, 5 a.m. And our bias here is definitely bearish. So we will mark this up. Daily's bearish, 4 hour is bearish, 1 hour is previous candle closing bullish. But yeah, here on the daily, it looks like we got daily imbalance here. Price could draw up to here before continuing back down. But right here, we got this daily gap. In the previous videos, you can see we were marking out this gap here on the daily, and price was not reaching for it. But now we got breaker structure to the downside. Now price might be targeting to fill this daily gap. But 4 hour here, got a gap right here. That's all I see on the 4 hour pretty much, other than this 4 hour gap. On the 1 hour here, we got a gap right here around the Asia high. Could want to fill this and then continue back down. Let's hop on the 15-minute. Looks like we got like a liquidity void over here. I'm not really gonna mark that up. I mean, we could mark it up anyway. Very small gaps, but we can just mark it up and see how price reacts if it taps into there. But yeah, right now I'm gonna skip to 9:30 a.m. Hit play here. Boom. So right now, exactly 9:30 a.m. Let's see what price does. Ideally, the move that I'm looking for is, I mean, we got this 1 hour gap right here as well. I forgot to mark up. So if price wants to run the London high, tap into this 1 hour gap here, I will be looking to short price back down, targeting the lows and targeting this daily gap down here. But yeah, let's see if we can get filled here. I'm gonna set my position right here. I'm gonna be setting a sell stop right there. Targeting 1 to 2 RR. Let's see if we can get tapped in. But yeah, this would be a valid setup. It says that I'm in the trade right now, but I'm not. That's weird. Yeah, so we didn't get triggered yet. Don't mind this right now. We're not in it. Still not in it. And boom, we're in the trade now. Let's see if price could react off this 15-minute gap. And boom, stopped out again, unfortunately, but this was a valid setup. London high swept for liquidity. Looks like there was news. Not sure what the news was because it doesn't show me, but that could have definitely affected this move. But yeah, stopped out here. Looks like price is drawing towards this daily imbalance up here. But yeah, this is definitely something I do not want to trade now. We're getting a market structure shift right here. Closure above these highs. Let's just see if there's a reaction now at that daily imbalance. But I'm gonna throw in my entry confirmations. Yeah, price is just still pushing. But we are reacting at the daily imbalance a little bit. And yeah, there was a reaction there. But we're still continuing bullish. So yeah, market just reversed. Bias was definitely bearish there on that day. But yeah, let's throw in entry confirmations here. Number one time, 9:30 a.m. Wait, was this? Yeah, this was 9:30 a.m. Number two was bearish. Bias followed. Number three, London high rated liquidity. Number four, 1 hour fair value gap fill. But yeah, this was a valid setup. It's just price. I think there was some type of news. I'm waiting on piplabs to reply. I think they're gonna fix the news thing, but because in the past you used to be able to see like the news that would be coming up, because that's definitely something that's important in backtesting. Because in the live markets, if there's news at 10 a.m., I'm gonna be trading a little bit differently than if there was no news. But here it's a Friday now. This was fair value gap fill. Followed our rules. But yeah, accounts break even. And yeah, on to Friday now. Looking at this data and previous month's data, we may have to adjust the strategy because it's giving very low returns here. As you can see, like 1 to 5% a month is just not enough. Like minimum 10% in backtesting a month would be the best. So we may have to develop a new strategy. But this is why we backtest and gather data, because all of this time, like time spent collecting this data, if I was to just use the strategy in the live markets, it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would take half a year to get all this if I was just like on a demo account or something. But in backtesting, I figure out what works and what doesn't faster, and then I can adjust from there. But yeah, on to Friday. But I'm not going to make any changes to the strategy until I have a full year of data. But right now, it's looking kind of mid, if I'm being honest. But yeah, entry confirmations here. On to the next day. Now it is the 23rd. Same thing as before. Mark up the previous day. Mark up previous day's high. Previous day's low. Got London high up here. London low. But yeah, there's no significant like Asia levels I want to mark out, because previous day's high is also Asia high. But yeah, on the daily time frame now, we are bullish. We still have this daily gap right here that ideally I want to see unfilled if we're going to continue bullish. Four hour here, we're bearish. 1 hour is bullish. So we're kind of all over the place. See, previous day was bullish though. Based on previous day being bullish and previous daily being bullish, our bias here is bullish. But yeah, 4 hour bearish. So market's kind of all over the place. So I'm saying that we're mixed bullish. Daily's bullish, 4 hour is bearish, 1 hour is bullish. But yeah, on the daily here, I just marked up this daily fair value gap. On the 4 hour, looks like we're about to fill this 4 hour gap right here. And 4 hour, we do have a gap right here. But yeah, got that. Let's see on the 1 hour if we have anything. Looks like this 4 hour gap fill will also be a 1 hour gap fill. But on the 15-minute, it's also a 15-minute would be like a 15-minute. Actually, yeah, nothing on the 15-minute. Alright, so for right now, let's just skip to exactly 9:30 a.m. here. Alright, so we did not yet fill these gaps down here. So the only setup I'm looking at right now is if we could fill these gaps here to continue up and target this 1 hour imbalance. Like that. 1 hour imbalance right there. But yeah, let's see if some type of liquidity would be swept here. I mean, we would have these lows swept as well if we come down to tap into this 4 hour gap to fill it. But this low would just be a pre-market low. But this would be a valid setup. We have liquidity below these 1 hour lows and filling this 4 hour gap, targeting 1 hour imbalance, following daily bias. I just don't like how bearish the 4 hours, closing bearish here. But looking back to previous day was very bullish. So we could be creating the second leg here to continue back up to target these previous day's highs. But yeah, let's see if we can get filled here. I'm gonna set a buy. I'm gonna set a limit order because before I try to do the like a sell stop and it just triggered me right away for some reason. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see if we get triggered here on this fill. Targeting 1 to 2 RR. But realistically targeting this 1 hour imbalance here. So let's watch. It's 9:30 a.m. now. Let's see if we can get filled. If price pushes up to this 1 hour imbalance and then comes down, I wouldn't really like that because then I wouldn't have a target. But yeah, let's see if we can come down and tap our fair value gap to fill. Looks like we might get it here. And almost tapped into, and boom, we're in now, targeting this 1 hour imbalance up here. Let's see if we can survive here. Took 2 L's in a row previously. Right here, looks like we're about to get stopped. Almost got wicked out here, but we're still alive. But yeah, let's see what price wants to do here. Almost survived, or almost got wicked out here, but we are still in. And it's not looking too good right now. But 1 hour no top wick here. It might want to flip and create that 1 hour wick, which it did right there. But yeah, it looks like we're rejecting the downside here. If we can get a 1-to-1 move stops to break even here. And we still have the same target, this 1 hour imbalance up here. But yeah, if this hits TP, we just barely survived it. But now we're risk-free, stops to break even. No more risk on this trade. Edging our TP here. And we're going to speed this up a bit. Price is struggling here. Alright, so we got TP right there. Almost wicked out here. Just by a little bit, but we survived. One to two, but realistically here, we probably would have gotten stopped out if we're being real. Because here it's a 305 tick stop loss, but realistically it would be this. So let's see. Alright, so I mean we still would have survived, I believe. Just barely. But realistically, I think this would have stopped me out, like if I'm being real. So I'm counting this as a L, even though we hit TP, because look at this wick. Like on the broker, this would have stopped me out definitely at 30 points. But yeah, I'm counting this as a L. But yeah, it was a good trade idea, but just got wicked out here. And this is something in backtesting, you gotta keep it real. Like if you see something like this, where like realistically here would have stopped you out, like on your broker. Even though here it didn't, I'm treating it as if this is like a live trade. So in the live markets, this definitely would have stopped me out here. And then continued up. But yeah, was a good trade idea, just got wicked out though. But yeah, entry confirmations, number 1, time 9:30 a.m. Number 2, bullish bias followed. Number 3, 4 hour and 1 hour fair value gap fills. And we also had pre-market lows. Pre-market lows were swept, so these 1 hour lows right here were swept for liquidity, tapped into this 4 hour gap and filled it, and then continued up. Now let's just see if price wants to fill this 1 hour imbalance or not. And we'll get tap break even here. But that's still the target, and price did reach for it. But yeah, counting this trade as a L, and I'm gonna throw this in to the journal here. 3 L's in a row. Followed daily bias, yes. I'm throwing a screenshot here. I'm gonna put that we got wicked out. Throw this in here. This was a fair value gap fill. But yeah, on to the next day, the 26th. I want to see if we could finish up this month right here I mean, we probably won't get to the end because we got about like 20 minutes left. But on to the next day, we're on to Monday, June 26th. So yeah, that was a tough trade because we got wicked out and then ran to TP. But let's see if bias was right. And if we continue up, so bias was right. 26 here. Yeah, so bullish bias was right there. I'm gonna note that down. So we got wicked out and then the trade ran to TP. But yeah, here is 9 a.m. Skip over to there. Same thing again. Marking up previous day's highs. And previous day's lows. Here we got Asia high. And London low down here. We don't really have a significant London high that I want to mark out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the session highs and lows and previous days highs and lows. But on the daily here, we're bullish. Previous candle closing bullish on daily. We still have this daily gap down here that price could want to draw to. Yeah, on the 4 hour though, we got 4 hour gap. Right here on the 4 hour, it looks like we're about to fill. We could be targeting this 4 hour fair value gap right here to be filled. But yeah, it looks like we got a liquidity void right here. Price could want to reach up and fill that. But yeah, on the 1 hour here, don't have much at all on the 1 hour. But our bias here, daily is bullish, 4 hours bearish, 1 hour is bullish. So I'm guessing here I'm not going to have any setups. When time frames are misaligned like this, like when the daily and the 4 hour are not aligned, that's not the best thing that I like to see. So you can see here 4 hour breakage structure to the downside. We could even want to fill this 4 hour gap and continue down. But since the daily is bullish, like price is just in a really choppy area right now. Because like even here on the 1 hour breakage structure to the downside, we could just be retracing, looking to fill this liquidity void here. Maybe fill this 4 hour gap and continue down. But I can't really take a short position based on the daily, previous daily closing bullish like this. So yeah, this is a day that I probably would just watch, and I don't have any bullish setup here. So yeah, I'm just probably gonna watch this day. So 9:30 a.m. right here. Alright, so here's 9:30. We're gonna watch what price does. Ideally, I think price could want to fill this void, liquidity void, and this to continue down. But since previous daily closed bullish, my bias is more bullish. So I'm not going to be taking these shorts. I'm just going to watch them. And possibly at 10 a.m. we could get a imbalance to help us continue to the upside. But yeah, I'm just watching for right now. Let's see if price wants to fill this liquidity void and continue down. But price could also be reaching for these Asia highs. So let's just watch here. Liquidity void being filled. But yeah, Asia highs being swept could make sense for a downside move here. But let's just see what happens. Yeah, so it looks our bias is being respected. If at 10 a.m. we get retracement down to this 1 hour gap, maybe we could have a move targeting previous day's highs here. I'm gonna skip this a little bit by 1 minute candles. But yeah, if price wants to retrace down to this 1 hour imbalance, I'll take my trade from there. But if it happens at like 11 a.m., I won't be taking it. But yeah, I'm gonna set my order by limit. 30-point stop. Target 1 to 2. Buy limit right there. And let's see if we get filled. And we're filled right there. And stopped out again. 4th loss in a row. So let me mark up my entry confirmations. Number 1, time 9:30 a.m. Number 2, bullish bias, followed. Number 3, 1 hour imbalance fill. And we also had a break of structure to the upside on the 1 hour. So yeah, this is a pretty unfortunate trade. The reason I think this failed was the 4 hour being bearish. But yeah, gonna note this down in the journal. On a big losing streak right now. And we're on to the next day. 27th. This is a Tuesday. But yeah, minus 2% on the month. Let's just see what price does here. It looks like now price is having a reaction after wicking me out. But continuing bearish now. So L trade, definitely. But yeah, on to the next day, 27th, Tuesday. This is a pretty tough backtesting session. Big losing streaks here. But yeah, 27th. We may have to make some adjustments to the strategy and to my trading plan. We may need some more lower time frame confirmation. Things like break a structure on lower time frames before entering. And something I was looking at too is also not having like a fixed stop loss size and having a more like technical stop loss. But yeah, right here, price has just been consolidating kind of inside of this range. Here we got London low. London low was swept here at 8 a.m. On the daily here, we're very bearish. But we have a daily imbalance up here. And it looks like price wants to come down and fill this daily fair value gap. But on the 4 hour, we have a gap right here. And another 4 hour gap here. That's pretty much all I see on the 4 hour, but hopping down to the 1 hour here. One hour gap here, as well as here. This will most likely be the last trade for this backtesting session. Pretty tough session here. Big streak of losses, which one of these we did just get wicked out. I believe it was like this one. We got wicked out. And trade ran to TP, which was unfortunate. Looking back at this, if I had more of like a technical stop loss below like some of these lows here, I would only get like a 1-to-1 RR, but I wouldn't get stopped out. So that's something that I'm gonna look into in the future, is having a possibly more technical stop loss. But that's what I'm gonna only be adjusting my strategy after I have a full year of data, because then I can really judge and see if this system is working for me or not, which right now it's very mid. Losing month 6%, 5%, 5%, 3% plus 1%. Like, it's really not a good system right now based on this data that I'm getting. This month currently minus 2% after all of these trades. But yeah, definitely gonna have to be making some adjustments here. But that's why we backtest, and that's why we gather data. But yeah, this 4-hour gap is also a 1-hour gap. Yeah, down here we got 1 hour fair value gap. We're gonna skip exactly to 9:30 a.m. Boom, 9:30 right here. And our buys here is once again mixed 4 hours in a break a structure to the upside, but daily is bearish. So I really don't like trading conditions like this. Let's see what the 1 hour is at. 1 hour's bull. Because right now we could even wanna see price come all the way to this daily imbalance to fill it and then continue down. But yeah, what I'm looking at here is this 4-hour gap, because if we sweep these highs here, these 1 hour highs, fill this gap, we could continue down. But I really don't like 4-hour break a structure to the upside. Especially if 1 hour closes above these highs, I would not be looking for sells. But here on the 15-minute, this is also a 15-minute gap here. But yeah, this is my ideal play. If we can run all these highs here, fill this 4-hour gap, fill the 1 hour gap, we could possibly get a reaction to the downside. But yeah, last trade for the backtesting session. Let's see if we get filled. But yeah, this is going to be the setup right here. 30-point stop. But yeah, let's see if we can get filled up here. I'm gonna set my limit order. Right there, 30-point stopper. So yeah, let's see if we get filled here. Looks like we just swept the highs right here. It looks like some news just came out too. Not sure exactly what news it is. I'm trying to get the people at the software to show me, or like to update this feature to actually show up the news again, because it just shows this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't actually show us what the news was and at what time it was at. Looks like we're about to get filled here. Almost got filled. If we don't get filled, that's alright, and we'll just have no trade. But yeah, looks like we're we're not gonna have a trade here. But the idea was right. Looks like we kind of filled like the 50% of this 15-minute gap. But yeah, I'm gonna delete my sell limit order now. But yeah, let's just see what price does. But yeah, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. here. So no setup here within my trading window, so I'm gonna just mark that up here. No setups, but bias was right. Meaning that we swept these highs right here, these 1 hour highs, almost filled my gap, my 4 hour gap here. And that's when I would want to see the move down, grabbing liquidity, filling my fair value gap, continue down. But we just barely filled it. We almost filled it, about 80% we filled it. And then we got the continuation down right here. But yeah. That's the trade. Markup, no setups, but bias was correct.